In the next few months, next 4 months or so, there'll be a handover from this administration to the next.
Yes.
Who will coordinate that handover?
Yeah, I start by reminding a lot of, I also read social media a lot. And there are, especially from some quarters, some people who like reminding me that I have 2 months to go. Which is, so true that I don't know why they keep repeating. Because even you are here, where you are here, you citizen, you will leave. You will not.
Nobody lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever.
These people don't seem to remember even where they are themselves. They will leave. As we are coming to the end of this administration, and by law, there is a creation of what is called Assumption of Office Committee that's created. And it will start being operational as soon as the campaign period starts, so that it starts preparing for handing over.
And by law, it should be led by a secretary to the cabinet.
To the cabinet. And there is an acting secretary to the cabinet in the name of head of public service, who will be the chair of that committee, and there will be members to that committee.
Why was it not possible to have a substantive?
This question has been asked, but the overall, when people overstep their mandate, when a president is given mandate by the people through an electoral process, he decides how to form his government. And that is not shared. And I think it's good to discuss things that are shared. Now, the president has formed a government, has formed institutions, has given functions in the best way that he thinks he will deliver his promises to the people of Kenya. And he has done it. And we have seen this country stand for the last 10 years. So what will happen is there will be that Assumption of Office Committee, which has membership as described in law, that will start its work. And immediately the elections are over, if there are no petitions or even after the petitions, that committee is the one responsible of doing all the logistical, the infrastructure of the swearing in of the incoming head of state.
And you don't see any legal challenges, someone moving to court stating that without a secretary to the cabinet, that swearing
there
in
is a secretary to the cabinet.
Acting.
And there is no description in law. Just turn the law and show me, to tell me that a person appointed in an acting capacity has no powers to act. All these are things that people keep talking about without looking. There is a secretary to the cabinet, and that is why whenever there is a cabinet meeting, there are minutes. And there is even a person who even calls it, because there is a secretary to the cabinet. Only that he is doubling as the head of public service, who will actually be the one who will convene the Assumption of Office Committee. And when that's convened, it goes in a very articulate manner, including what the person will be coming in will say. Because this is a transition, and I think it's not the first one. We are lucky to have witnessed them in our lifetime, many. This is not the first one. And
two rights don't make a wrong. So
where was a wrong?
Don't make a right, rather.
Where was a wrong initially? Just tell me the wrong. Is there
the Assumption of the Office of the President Act clearly stipulates the role of the Secretary to the Cabinet, their duties as well. And even if it did not happen in 2017, it doesn't make it right.
I just want to ask you,
yes,
does it mean if you are appointed as the acting managing director of Citizen, Royal Media Services?
You're giving me a job.
I wish you were.
that is not vacant.
I wish you were.
Yes.
If you are given that job as acting managing director, that Royal Media Services has no managing director, it's only that managing director is in an acting capacity, but he is a managing director. This country has a secretary to the cabinet. Only that the people who talking about it want it in their style. But the commander-in-chief, who has been given mandate by the Kenyan people, has chosen to have it that way. And there is no vacancy. If there was a vacancy that he wants to fill, he would fill it. But what is important is, do you want to tell me that we will go, there is an election, there is a winner, and there is an assumption of office committee that arranges a handing over ceremony, because that is the function. And then you say, because the one who is arranging is in an acting capacity, then there is no president in this country. Do you see a situation like that?
Yes, maybe the question I'd ask is, how difficult is it to simply send
you're asking the
Parliament? Okay, but you're the closest that I can get to His Excellency the President.
The mandate to form
to avoid
government,
those legal loopholes.
I'm saying the mandate to form government and to give functions to institutions belongs to the president who is elected by the people, because he is exercising the sovereign power of the people, and he has chosen a style. So we cannot sit here and start telling, listen, let me give you a very good example. He could decide that the function of security is in Ministry of Health. He could decide that because he has a promise with the Kenyan people that I want in my 5-year contract to deliver the following to you. The results are the following. For me to deliver the results to you, don't prescribe to me the everyday activity that you will be checking whether it's quarterly, are we still on course? So he has promised to deliver certain things to the people of Kenya. We cannot then tie his hands. By the way, he is creating functions in his government, and that is why he will create ministries. They are not named in the constitution. You are just given a number.
The constitution does not pose a challenge.
Yes.
That is fine. But, but the assumption of the Office of the President Act does give guidelines on how that should happen. I think that's the challenge that those who criticize are putting through.
Because they assume there isn't a person in office. There is a person in office.
Okay. Yeah. PS, because you've said some people on social media have been giving you timelines, I guess the logical question then would be, what would PS Kibicho be doing in December 2022? What
at the moment...
what does the future look like for you if you were to...
Bwana Ihiga
yes.
is to concentrate on ensuring that we have a peaceful election that is devoid of any violence. Number two, I have not elected to tell you how old I am, but I'm sufficiently old. I will be doing my 13th year as a PS in government. 13 years probably, you haven't worked that long yourself in government, in the Royal Media Service, but I've worked 13 years. And there is time for everything. What is important at the moment is to ensure that there is a peaceful election, that the mandate that we have been given up to 9th August is fulfilled properly. And when another government is formed, there shall be a PS Interior whom I will hand over to.
What will your hand? That's an interesting point you've raised. What will your handover notes look like? What's that one thing you would tell your successor?
We are very busy today. We've even, in our ministry, we've formed a committee of preparing the handing over report that is going across the country. We are the only ministry that has a representation in every village in this country. And we want to tell the incoming person about every village in this so that they don't start from zero, because you don't have to reinvent the wheel when we are able to give you a head start. So when we give you a head start, these are the gray areas, these are the projects, these are the programs that we are dealing with, these are the things that you need to do, these are the functions that you need to carry out, we'll tell you. But once you take office, because you have results to deliver, you will then decide, is the report useful or not? But as far as we are concerned, we will touch on projects, we will touch on programs, we will touch on finances, we will touch on HR, and we will touch on what we think are proposals, recommendations for work that should give us the out. Because remember, on 9th August, it's not a coup in this country. There is not there isn't a discontinuity of government. It's only people who will change, but government shall remain. Because it's not a coup. It's just an election that will come. Faces will change, but the government will be there. And that is why there is a civil service, so that even as political leaders change, the civil service remains. And that is what perpetuates the government forever. Because government hasn't